happy holidays by giving you a certificate for Lemon Tree Haircutters, VIM, Martin Paints, that good-looking Hot 97 ruby and gold lapel pin, the Hot 97 sweatshirt, and check it out, a key that might get that red Corvette, courtesy of Transamerican of Amityville, Long Island, parked in your driveway.
Oh, my God.
If I ask you what station has the most winners and the most music, what do you say?
Hot 97.
You want to show me your love.
97.
We've been together for a long time, baby.
Ooh, it's Phil Lee.
Do you have to leave?
I love it, honey.
Please don't go, darling.
I have to do that. It's my job. It's the all-new Hot 97 at 5:47. That's 13 minutes in front of 6. Is it hot? Yeah, why not? I'm pumping 60 minutes non-stop. And if you want, drop a quarter into the slot. Call that hit-free hotline of mine. Tell me what you think is hot. 1-800-223-9797. Meanwhile, I'll be revving with Johnny Kemp. Just like a shiny new car. Just got grease, just got sprayed, just got bought, just got paid. It's the all-new Hot 97 at a couple minutes in front of 6, and it's a congratulatory story for Greg Olson of Wildwood, who did so good he just came up with a Christmas stocking stuffed with presents, including a key to Quick Start, a red-hot special edition Corvette. Your chance to get into that same winning zone happens on the radio and on the phone later after 9 with Greg Thunder. Hitman.
From the top of the Empire State Building, 97.1 WQHT, New York. 97.
Hello, everybody, wherever you may be. My name's Larry. My call sign's Kilo 7 Hotel November. From around the world, I'd like to welcome you back to the Shack. This is Ham Radio Live. I'd like to ask you to please hit that subscribe button. That's important because it helps people find the channel. And the benefit for you is when it gets to the real good part, you know, like when you're ready to hear the real big part of the video, all of a sudden an ad doesn't come up and you scream out loud.
A crummy commercial?
Exactly. So you don't have to worry about that here. We don't have any commercials, no ads, there's no monetization. I don't do that on purpose. I make sure there's no ads here so that people can watch the show and more so listen to it from beginning to end and just enjoy themselves, right? Today we've got a big show. Something's going to help some folks out. I'd like to welcome you here to the rainy northwest of Oregon. Welcome to the show. Take 2. All right, so we switch mics. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah. Hey, by the way, if you have a rig or some electronic item, it just doesn't quite work right? You got a little problem with it. Something's not quite right. All right. So let's say, for example, you got something going on and you're like going, man, this thing just isn't working, or maybe it's not working at all. I have a really good friend who's good at fixing stuff, and he's fast. And the best part of all, he's really reasonable. Not everybody is an electronic tech in ham radio. For folks that are new or people who aren't necessarily great at, taking apart a transceiver or an amp and fixing it, there are people out there that can do it. Now, there's one guy that I love because he's very reasonably priced. He's a good guy, and there it goes again. That's got to be the preamp. It has to be. So it can't be the mic. It's got to be the... Okay, there's the next... There it is. There's the next expense. Why not? Okay. See, I was thinking there's no way this could be wrong. This is a almost brand new Electro Voice RE27. This is like the top of the line EV mic. I'm like, no, can't be that. Oh, well. Hey, what can you do? Just smile and move on. All right. So anyway, if you're looking for somebody who can help you with gear, maybe you've got something that doesn't work, you bought a DOA rig and you think maybe it could be resurrected. There's a guy named Vlado, V-L-A-D-O. So that's Victor Lima Alpha Delta Oscar, Vlado. He works a little side business. It's called Ham Radio Repair. It's real good. All you do is find him, there it comes again, at hamradio.repair. It sounds like a weird address, right? But it's real. It's hamradio.repair. Find Vlado. He's a good guy. He's a real good guy. He'll help you out with whatever you're looking for, and he'll tell you if it doesn't work or if he can't do it. He doesn't do tube stuff, okay? So keep that in mind. He's not going to do any sort of tube repair, but he does do solid state. Vlados can be found again at hamradio.repair. Good guy. Very good guy. All right, welcome to the show. Today we're going to do something real special. We did this show before back in January, and a lot of folks liked it. They really did. It was fun to kind of brainstorm together, but I did receive some emails from around the world. This is no lie, saying I don't have this much money to spend for a radio. The question we put down that day was, how do you build a full ham shack for under $1,500? Then we bumped it to $3,000. Remember? Well, I guess we were probably at Tiffany's because we think, at least I did that day, okay, $1,500, that's reasonable. That was my budget, but it wasn't for everyone. And I want this show to help people so badly. That's from the heart. I mean that. So I did receive a couple of emails from some folks and said, I don't have that much money. One in particular mentioned I have only $700 to spend for everything. And it made me think when we were in Hawaii, how can we do this? Is there a way to do this? And I really brainstormed it. And yep, we can do it. Absolutely, we can do it. Between us, we can put together some ideas for the folks that are new or coming into ham radio to how to be able to make this work for that kind of a budget. So today's question is going to be, how can you build a fully working ham shack for $700 or less? Okay? We're going to brainstorm this, and it's going to help out some people right now because they're here, and we're going to make sure to, help them out. We're going to first say some hellos. Want to welcome Whiskey 1 Tango Golf. Thank you for coming. Good to see you. And I love the emoji. Man, anybody that does a minion is my friend. That's good. Stu Foster back from the UK. Stu, you and your family are in my prayers. Absolutely. Yeah. Keep Stu and his family in your prayers. He's going through some stuff, pretty heavy stuff. And Stu, thanks for sending me the email. I appreciate that. Gunter, Gunter's a neat guy. If you haven't yet been welcomed by Gunter, he's kind of like the station welcome committee. If we had a concierge, it would be Gunter. So Gunter, thank you for being here, buddy. It's an honor. Thank you, buddy. Alpha Echo 1 Tango Papa, also known as Alpha 92 Golf Whiskey. That's Tom in Bahrain. Tom, good to see you. Thanks, buddy. And I'm going to need your help for this show. All y'all, Gunter, Tom, Stu, Whiskey 1 Tango Golf. We're going to need your help because we're going to help some folks today. That's the whole purpose of this channel. As I said before, this channel is not going to be for everyone. I don't intend it to be. There's no channel that can serve everyone. And this channel really is about helping people get on the air, and those that are on the air maybe find some cool products that could help them, maybe work more efficiently. Maybe they're looking for an antenna for parks on the air like we had yesterday. Okay, there's a good example of one. But it's also mainly to help people. All right, this show will really help because there are people who are really wanting to get some gear and get on the air, but they're, frustrated because they don't know if they have enough to do so. I believe this will work. I do. And I think between us, we'll make it happen. Thor, yes, sir. Take 2. Good to see you, buddy. All the way in Minnesota. Thanks for the email. By the way, good stuff. Thor, enjoy that antenna. If you need some help, let me know. It is a little challenging, but you'll get there. Greg is here. Kilo Fox 0, Charlie Union Zulu. Greg, welcome back. See, Greg will be a good asset. So will Thor. These two folks will help you. Thor's call sign, by the way, Kilo India Tango Juliet Tango. And Stu's call sign, for folks who don't know, is Golf 7. No. Larry, go back to Great Britain. Sorry. Mike 7 Golf Alpha Yankee, right? It's Mike 7. Wait, no. Yeah, Mike 7 Way, right? No, wait. G7 Way. Sorry. Golf 7 WAY. Got it. Okay. Going off memory, trying to remember everybody's call signs and their names, where they're located. After a while, it gets a little tangling, right? Glenn is here all the way from VK land. Mate, good to see you, buddy. That's my mate in VK. Love Glenn. Hey, Glenn, our next chance to work will be, I think it's on the 30th. We do a late DX show. I believe it's the 30th. Let me take a look real quick. It'll be on, we'll work up to Gray Line and nighttime in Sydney. That's going to be on the 25th. Sorry, your day, it'll be the 27th, okay? The morning of the 27th, okay? So 27th your way in March, we'll be doing a late night DX show here, trying to work there. So we worked all the way to Canberra. We're going to try and work you as well, Glenn. So hang in there, okay, buddy? That's my mate there in Australia. I owe you at least a QSO after this Hawaii debacle. There we go. Here's the first one. Whiskey Tango 1 Golf Zygo G90 SDR HF transceiver for 500 with a dipole. Okay, that's a good start. Okay, we still need to get a power supply. And we need to get ground rod, we need to get wiring, okay? So power supply, ground rod, wiring, and then, your feed line. So got to be at 700 or less, okay, for everything. So that's your power supply, ground rod, your wiring for grounding, making sure you got a good ground wire, okay? Plus you've got your feed line, you've got your antenna, you got your transceiver. So we got to put all that stuff together for 700 or less. And definitely a Zygo G90 is a very good start. Thank you very much for that. Kevin's here. Welcome to Kev. He is Mike Zero, Mike Charlie Lima. Welcome back, Kev. Good to see you. Antenna analyzer, rig expert, or MFJ. I use a Zoom. I do. I love MFJ. And, I love the rig expert. It's easy. Gosh, and it's here somewhere. I did the show yesterday. The same thing happened. I was looking for my antenna analyzer, and I just don't know where I left it. Nobody else took it. It's got to be me. So, yeah, I use the Zoom 35, and I love it. It's really easy to use. I think the MFJs might be a little more technical in terms of give you a little more information on your impedance and stuff. Good meters on them and very affordable. MFJ sells some very affordable antenna analyzers. In fact, they're the ones who invented antenna analyzers. Mr. Jew actually invented that back in the 60s. Pretty interesting stuff. So yeah, I love my rig expert. I do. It's been a great antenna analyzer for me. It'll do full sweeps. It'll do impedance. It'll do instant SWR. It'll do SWR versus range. And here we go again with the stupid, with our one. Hold on. Yep. There we go. Nice. What the heck, man? Okay. We are just having a heck of a time here today with with all the stuff here in the shack. Hold on. Any better? No, still bad. Give me a second. Give me one moment. So you have to wait for the tube to warm up. Not kidding. Look, show you. So I bought it because I like tube. I do. I like tubes. It's the Ultragraph Pro. And this is a really good, although it's not behaving well, it is a good little preamp. Really is. And I like it because it gives you the tube sound, and every little bit does help. Let me show you a little quick shot of it. There it is. See, ultra gain stage. There's a little vacuum tube right there. And that's the main reason I got it there, because it does the job. But I think that's going to be in the budget for later on today. Oh boy, my wife's going to be so doggone happy with that idea. Anyway, so thank you. Yeah. All right. So Stu, Kev, I like the rig analyzer. It's a good one. The rig expert's good. Stu says going to buy one of those EV mics soon, but you're putting me off of them now. Oh, stop. It's not the mic. No, it has nothing to do with the mic, Stu. It's my preamp. That's what's happening. So when it's cutting out, it's not coming from the mic, because the second mic is happening too. And this mic works great. And I know this one's almost new. This is the 27. This is almost brand new. This here, it's just the preamp. It's just, it's getting tired of doing shows, I guess. That's the way it is. All right. So Jess is here. $700 shack. Here we go. And you know what, Jess? This is great. I love it because he mentions the 735. Same thing that I had again, 735. Gosh, we may have to cut this show short. I mentioned the 735 as well when I was putting this together for myself in this same equation. Doggone it. Stop it. I'm just literally sending just a shot down to this stupid thing so it'll stop doing it. This show is from heck. Okay. Thinking. Hold Hold on, thinking a second. Let me work this through. Just a second. Hold on. Okay, I don't want to cut this show short, so we're going to do it this way. Hold on. You're either going to hear the radio. I got to hear the radio drop first, so I know which I'm cutting. Okay, hold on. Voila, there we go. Okay, it's going to sound different, for sure going to sound different because it's not going through the gear, but it is using the preamp on the Focusrite, which essentially is a device that allows you to go from a microphone straight into YouTube. So that's going to be the sound the show has now. And I apologize, it's not the greatest in terms of perfection, but it at least gives me a chance to still do the show. Okay, so gonna have to replace the preamp here, but here at least we can get direct mic feed into this and into all of you. So thank you for being patient with me. Jess, here it is. Okay, $700 Shack. ICOM 735, homebrew dipole, used coax, 12-volt battery or power supply. All right, Jess, I love the 735. That's a piece I agree with 100%. Now, okay, used coax. Yeah, could do it that way. That's a good thing. If you got a ham in the area that could help you, a good way for new hams to start out. And again, sorry for the audio quality. This is just not going through processing. That's all. So a good way for hams to start out is to go and get themselves perhaps, a friend. Go into a local radio club, join them. Okay. I'm new. I'm getting ready to take the test. Maybe that club does testing as well. So you can, they'll help you, right? You can go through the test and they're not going to give you extra help because you're part of the club. Okay. And some clubs will refer you to a different club to take the test just to be safe. But you at least get some help, okay? And maybe one of those folks in that club have some coax that they can give you. That's also a really good thing. So what Jess says here, I like because it talks about used coax. Many times we have plenty of coax hanging around that we're not using because we're not either using that antenna anymore or we just bought too much, and over the years we've cut back on antennas. So don't be afraid to ask local hams if they've got some coax. If they don't have any coax, right? You can get some. And I sourced it out over at HRO. This is part of what I was doing earlier today. And one of the things I looked at was the coax end of it, because that's an expense. Here's where in this whole dimension, I didn't want to cut back. And I've said this a million times on the channel. If you're going to build your shack, the one thing you don't do is you don't skimp on your feed line. Don't, because you're going to change out antennas and rigs, but you're not going to change your feed line out. Now, I still will say the same thing, even if you've got a $700 budget, okay? Buy great feed line, period, because you're not going to flip it out, and you're going to have good stuff to begin with, and you're going to have quality. This is the one place where I tell you, don't skimp. Don't do it, okay? Let me get you first of all, and I believe this is going to be the feed line. However, I'm looking at just a stock image, not the actual picture. So I'm looking at kind of like a little emoji that shows me it's a ping, but it's not the picture. Okay. That's not, of course, I had a 50-50 chance. Okay. So here we go. So buy something like this, new hams. This is similar to LMR 400. Okay. HRO has it. I know this is pricey. We're at $700 or less. It's $102.95 before tax. However, it's 75 feet. That's a good length. That'll get you into your backyard from where you're at. It's going to get you in the side yard. It's going to maybe get you on your roof. Wherever you're going to mount your antenna, it's enough coax to get you started, and you're not skimping. This stuff's going to last for 5, 10, 15 years if you take good care of it. You can also bury this, okay? So if you're going to put it into the ground, it will be able to take, burial, okay? It is similar to LMR 400. it's going to cost you some money, okay? But here's where you don't skimp. You've got good feed line. Don't skimp here. $102, okay? My antenna idea was here, okay? Multiband. You want to work day and night, right? Well, okay, maybe you can't build an antenna. You're new. You don't know how to build an antenna yet. That makes total sense to hams, okay? We understand that because we all started out too, right? So here is a G5RV, which I think is a very good antenna, okay? Some folks will say, God, G5RV, what are you thinking, right? But remember, they're starting out. Here's a G5RV available at HRO. It's made by Radio Waves. It's $85 before tax. Okay, so now with tax, you're probably about close to $200. Okay, so there's your first money. There's $200 right out the door. All right, so you still have $500 to spend, but you've got quality feed line and you have an antenna. Now what you're missing is a power supply and you're missing the radio. You're missing a ground rod. You're missing wire to connect the ground rod to your rig. That's important. All right. So I'll get to the rest of your comments here. I just need to realize I just hit, I need 2 more photos here of stuff that I've got. And I love that Jess said the 735. Jess, you're going to find out in a second here. You are, because this is just funny as heck that you mentioned that. All right. So 735, he mentioned 735 and, I think it's the only picture I got left. Okay, hold on. Let me get this over to you. We'll get your comments. All right, so Jess, thank you for being on the channel. Appreciate you coming. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, Gunter used Kenwood TS50S. So used TS50S. Say that 3 times fast. Used TS350. Yeah. All right, used TS350S, $300. Brand new switching supply. 25 amp 6990 used MFJ 940 E2. I don't think we can do a tuner, buddy. Well, maybe, I guess. So used tuner to go with it. Fishing pole from local store, $49. Brand new half wave end fed dipole, 80 to 10 is going to be $79.90. Okay, all right. Well, that's a real good start. That's good. Okay, so take a look what he's got. He's got a Kenwood TS50S. Okay. He's got the tuner for it because the 50S doesn't have an onboard antenna tuner. You're going to be using a multi-band half-wave end-fed. Okay. That's why you need the tuner. That's why he's doing it. Okay. I keep putting it up because it only lasts for so long on the screen. Use the fishing pole to get you up high. Another thing you do is just buy yourself a piece of PVC. PVC will do the same thing, but probably cheaper, and then you get it up a little high because height is important to antennas. Gunter, thank you very much. That's good stuff. Well done. Good thinking. Yep. Jess, by the way, his call sign is Whiskey Union 3 Delta. Thanks for coming, Jess. That's good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Let's see. Looking at some more stuff here. Oh, there we go. Golf 7. I got it right. See, at the end, I got it right, Stu. It just took me a moment to figure it out. Golf 7 way. Thank you. And I am too, mate. Looking forward to making that call. Hey, mate, we're going to make that call, Glenn. We're going to make that call big time. We did it with Fred on Friday, by the way. On the channel, we did it with Fred, but we just weren't able to make it work all the way to you. But we did get Canberra. That was kind of neat. So there you go. Gunter still has his old Vectronics SWR 584B. Hard to see in the small letters I've got. Sorry, Gunter. That's good. That's good. Are we talking HF? HF. Fully HF, Stu. Fully HF. That's why it's a little bit tough. And Thor with the good words. That's what I was saying earlier. Join a nearby ham radio club. Get to know some local hams. Someone there will undoubtedly have a dipole, coax, power supplies, radios, etc., and help you get on the air. I can't stress enough. And what Thor said is so right. Thank you, Thor, from Minnesota. That's fantastic. It's true, because if you start out and you join a local club, okay, it'll help you because you'll get to know some folks, okay? They're going to know you're new. And most likely, because most hams are really, really kind people, they're going to say, can I help you with something? They will. So don't be afraid to go into a local radio club. Now, if you don't have one nearby, it could be a little bit of a problem. That's why this show hopefully will help you, okay? If you don't have a local radio club that you can go into and say hello to some folks, then there you go. One suggestion, this is just a thought. there's lots of folks that watch this channel by the grace of God. Certainly it's not my talent because it's not me. But they can help, okay? If you're looking for something, one of the folks that are trying to put together their first shack, right? And you need some help, put it in the comments section. Think of this kind of as a little radio club, okay? People from around the world. We might be able to help you out, okay? With maybe some coax or maybe send you a tuner or something like that, right? You might need some stuff to help get you started. Maybe a power supply. Could be anything. But just ask, okay? Doesn't hurt to ask because people out there are willing to help, but you just need to ask, okay? So if you want to, if you're not local to a radio club, put it in the comments section. I believe someone here just might read that and say, you know what? I've got an extra one of those. I can send it their way. Just be willing to pay like for shipping, okay? Because that'll help out the person who's sending it to you. Think of it this way. You're getting free stuff and they're not having to pay for shipping. So everybody wins that way, okay? All right. Thank you, Thor. Good comment. Good comment. Gunter, thinking about getting me a DX Commander 80 to 10. So he's talking about the all-band vertical. Radiation barring radio couple and couple foot coaxial. That's funny. He's talking about getting some coax from Larry. That's great. Gunter, I love you, man. You make me laugh. You really do. Let me show you this morning. I wasn't going to share this, but why not? Part of the reason why we're a little late today is I woke up, and the first thing I always do, because I take care of my family. I'm kind of that person who tries to take care of everybody from Bob to the animals and Karen. That's why I call myself Mr. Mom here. And I woke up, I come downstairs, right? And, everybody's tired when you wake up. You're kind of like, you're moving your eyes around, getting all this stuff away from it. And you're kind of just tired. It's the way it is. The way you start out. Everybody starts out that same way, right? So anyway, I get up. I look out the kitchen window because that's right by where I put the dog's medicine. And here's what I see. Yep. This is what I see. Nope. That's not what I saw. Hold on. Where's it? Why didn't it send it? This is, oh my gosh. This is today. This is really today. Yep. This has been today. Let me get the picture to you real quick because it's an interesting thing. And it's a good reason why you guy your antennas in multiple places. It's a great example of why, okay? Because this is the DX Commander all band vertical. This is what greeted me this morning when I looked out the kitchen window. There's nothing worse. You wake up, you kind of blurry-eyed and kind of yawning, get yourself a little stretch in, right? And you take a look out the window and all of a sudden you take a look and you kind of like look at everything and something just doesn't look right. Something's standing out, right? All of a sudden there it is. Yep, right there. That's the DX Commander. And that's not his normal position, just so you understand. That's not how it's supposed to look. No. So, because of guying it the way I guy it, and what I do is I go 120 degrees on the first three, and the upper one I go 120 degrees out. So from 120 degrees, then I'll move 60 degrees to set the next set of guy wires. That way it's wired 360 degrees around. Well, that's what saved the antenna, really. So we had a bad windstorm last night. The antenna just kind of had enough. We had some storms while we were in Hawaii, and I guess maybe it just finally said, I'm done. But thankfully it's good. So yeah, that's the DX Commander. Back up, standing tall and straight, and works great. So we'll see how it goes. Gunter's got a car battery, a charger in your garage. A lot of people use that. They do. A lot of people use that. And I think that's a really good way to do it, much cheaper than buying some of the lithium ion or lithium phosphate batteries that are out there now. They're rechargeable, which are great, but they're expensive. I mean, the one that I took to Hawaii is $300. So yeah, can be very expensive. Thor, definitely use a resonant antenna, so no tuner is necessary. Right there. Yep, totally agree. Totally agree. For new hams, people who want to get on the air, who are looking to build that first ham shack, that is probably right there the comment of the show. Truly. Yep. Some people think that antenna tuners are part of a ham shack. Okay. Not necessarily. You don't need to have an antenna tuner. You don't. If you build a resonant antenna, meaning you take your antenna analyzer out there and you can get it to say 1 point something to 1, maybe 1.3, 1.5, could be 1.7. Try and get a 1 point something to 1, and you're going to have a great antenna. You really will. The lower to 1.0 something to 1, the better. Okay. But when you do that, no antenna tuner is necessary. You don't need one. It's not necessary to have one. That's why it's important to do that. So Thor's comment carries great weight here. If you use a resonant antenna, for new hams, that means it's under 3 to 1. Okay. Your radio doesn't have to have an antenna tuner in it. You don't have to have an antenna tuner in your shack whatsoever. It just works. The reason antenna tuners or, impedance matchers necessarily is the right thing to why they're used is because sometimes when we use multiband antennas, or maybe we built an antenna slightly off frequency to be able to work part of the edges. Okay. And you'll see this a lot on 75, 80 meters, right? You'll see it sometimes there because it's, 3.5 to 4 megahertz in the US. It can be wide. So if you're using, say, an antenna like an AV680, which is made by High Gain, it has a little clip on the top where you clip it for the SWR you want to work resonantly at. Okay. Mine was set right about 3.750 up on, right at 80 meters, literally right there. Okay. Right in the middle. It worked fantastic, really did. But when you got to the edges, say around 3.9, I think it was 3.92, right about there up, okay? Or I was below 3.6, 3.65, somewhere in there. I think it was 3.6. It would need a tuner. It was then past that 3 to 1 threshold that the antenna tuner on the rig would handle. So resonant antennas are extremely important. And the good thing is when you build one, you're going to get full watt out there if you've got good feed line. Get good solid feed line, you get most of the load out to that antenna and get a lot of power out there. Thank you, Thor. Great comment. Didn't mean to get to use too much. Look at Gunter. Larry has an IC 7300 sitting around not using it anymore.
No!
Right. Okay, Gunter. Whatever. Yeah. Well, yeah. Larry also has a Yaesu 5000 that's been sitting here right here for a while, but you don't mention that, do you, Gunter?
No!
Nope. Wow. The whole idea of the channel, for me at least, is to show different radios, okay, and to show how they work. We're going to do a show this week on the FTDX10 and the 7300. We're going to show that they will both pick up the same signals. We're going to show how they work differently. Okay. For example, Yaesu uses something called contour. Okay. ICOM uses high cut, low cut, similar to Kenwood's, where they'll adjust the high cut, low cut filter when you're trying to bring a signal in. Okay. Same thing. They both have bandwidth adjustments. That's the same, but we'll show kind of the similarities and the differences between the two. It'll be a fun show, but yeah, 7300 sitting right there. So, okay. Thor, do forget some sort of pass through to get from the outside to inside the ham shack. Yeah. When you get the money to do so. Now, you may not be able to start out and do something like that. However, there is a great product. Let me show you real quick. I got to move these off to do that. So many projects from the house, haven't had time to do it. This is made out of cedar. Okay. This MFJ, excuse me, hitting the monitor here. As you can see sideways, sorry. All right, this is made by MFJ. It's a great little product. It goes right in your window. It's called the Universal Feed Line Window Panel. It's called MFJ 4603. The MFJ 4603, I wish I could show you all of it, but literally it's hanging up on my monitor here. But this gives you an idea of the connectivity that I have with it. This gives me F5 SO239 connectors. It's got type N, it's got balanced line, and it's got a random wire. So it's got all of those, and this is fairly inexpensive. You can get this from MFJ for, I believe it's about $100 and a quarter. And what's nice is it's going to run you with some it's out of cedar, so it's going to last really good for outdoor elements. Keeps the inside of your shack clean. Make sure that your window isn't all, full of crud and water and all that. So, but to start out, it's okay. Run it through your window. It's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. Just make sure you keep your window clean. Put a towel underneath there to keep things dry. And most importantly, keep the coax away from each other, okay? Don't let them touch. That's important. If you're running multiple antennas, you don't want, like, say, for example, one coax sitting here. Of course, you never find a pen when you need one. We'll use this. All right. So you don't want one coax here, and another coax sitting over here, touching each other. You just don't want them to touch. Make sure they're separated. So a good way to do that to start out with, if you don't have the money to buy something like this, is to just separate them. Use some old, washcloths or something like that, just to keep them separate so they don't touch. Great way to protect your coax and keep everything resonant. Okay. Kev says, Yaesu 857D, used or on eBay, 25 amp power supply used on eBay, homebrew doublet. Okay. That's good. Keep in mind, Kevin, homebrew doublets, these are new hams. They don't know how to do that. That's a great comment, though, on the rest of the stuff. We've got to think like someone just coming into the hobby. That's really important. So what you said, I love this part, the 857D, absolutely. 25 amp power supply, absolutely. One thing I'll say, buying used, please make sure if you're buying used, be protected. If somebody tells you, I'm only going to use PayPal, friends, and family, I'm not going to use anything else, okay? No! Don't do it, because that's going to be trouble for you as a buyer. There's no protection for you, okay? You literally are giving you their money and hoping they send you back what you're buying. There are lots of scammers out there. So please, as new hams, I cannot stress this enough. Buy safely. Make sure if you're from outside the country, that's real difficult. But if you're in the same country, at least talk to them on the phone. Make sure you feel comfortable with them, because you want to send money and get a product back, okay? Welcome to Russia. My gosh, welcome back. Nikolay, good to see you, buddy. His call sign is Radio 7 Delta November. Nikolay, thanks for coming back all the way from Russia. It's an honor to meet you. I appreciate it. Bob is here. He's Fox 5 Oscar Yankee Mike. He's coming from France. How's that? Bob, it's an honor to have you on the show. We could use your help today, okay? We have some young hams from around the world who watch the channel, who are trying to get started, buying their first gear, okay? And I did receive a couple of emails after we did the show before saying, look, it's too much money. I can't go $1,500. One in particular said, I have $700 to spend, okay? So your help would be great here, Bob. If you could help us, Nikolay as well in Russia, please help out. Trying to help some folks get their first shacks, okay? Paul is here. Thank you, Paul. What a joy it is to see you. Paul's call sign is November 8, Bravo Radio Oscar. Paul says, trunk swap for 25 amp power supply, dipole antenna, $100 in all. Okay, very good. All right. What he's talking about here is, I'm not sure on the trunk swap. I'm not sure what that means, Kev. I'm sorry, Paul. So you got to help me with that, okay? 25 amp power supply, get coax, get a dipole antenna, and $100 in all. I'm not sure what all that trunk swap part means. Sorry. I'll be honest, I don't know. So if you want to help, that'd be great. Okay. One other thing I did see for folks that are looking for a very good power supply, and this is a very good power supply. Let me cancel this out. Here it is. Okay. Let me show it to you real quick. This is a great buy. So if you're trying to start your shack, this is a great one to do. Underneath this radio here, underneath the ICOM 7300, is a brand new Astron 35A. This is a great linear power supply. It's non-switcher. It's been reviewed for decades. Fantastic power supply. There is one used currently on QRZ. Here's the ad. Comes from an estate. Son's selling it for dad. This is a great bargain too. This is for the same exact power supply. It's an RS35A, all right? Look at the price, $150 shipped. This is a heavy box. This thing weighs some serious weight. So thinking about that, getting it shipped, and this is continental US, free shipping for $150. If you're outside, you're going to pay extra freight. Okay, that's just the way it is. But $150. No, it's a small ad, but that's what it is. $150. Astron 35A. That'd be an amazing buy to start you out. All right. Glenn, hope to have a 2-element 40 to 10 meter beam antenna. Oh, that's perfect. Up in 6 months. That should help, not a little, that'll help a lot to get us over the pond. I'm working on trying to get the MFJ 1848 rebuilt again after the guy from the Ham Club came and helped to destroy it. So literally starting from scratch, from the base out, have to restart everything. So we'll get that built. Hopefully next couple of weeks we'll have it done. Kevin, M0MCL, my local club periodically auctions off unwanted or donated equipment. So other clubs, I'm sure, do the same. Yeah, they'll do that. So if they get equipment that's donated from people who pass away, part of the club, right? They donate to the club. Club then sells it to help to finance their projects. That's true. Yeah. Tom in Bahrain, Larry, you have a good point regarding getting folks started in the hobby. I gave an HF antenna and ICOM HF radio away several years ago. I'm sure many hams would do similar. You are exactly correct. Yes, yes, yes. If you've got extra stuff, you're not using it, right? It's just sitting in the closet. Help someone out with it. Just, it's the right thing to do, and it will help you. It will help you very much, okay? Scott, Kilo Charlie 2, Charlie Alpha Delta. I'd like to see if I can hear you on my HF where you guys tuned. Not on the radio today. Don't do a radio show today. So, Scott, tomorrow we'll be on the air, but not today. Just a ham talk show today. It's just a chance to help people out. Today we're helping out some young hams. Thanks for being there. Thank you so much. Leaning Tower of Pisa. Yes, it was. It was. Thankfully, it was guiding the right way. Yeah. Yep. Thankfully. All right. All right. Let's see. Paul, it's a compromised piece of equipment. Better to have resonant antennas. He's right. Resonant antennas will always help you. And that goes back to Thor's statement. If you're using a resonant antenna for new hams or folks that want to be in ham radio, our antennas don't just go up and they work. It's not how it is, right? It's not like your car antenna. Like if you've got an old truck or an old car that has that little whip antenna on it, okay? Doesn't work that way. Our antennas actually have to be measured to a certain length to work. And it depends on what frequency. That's how they work. So our antennas are really important to us because they are carefully built to work on certain frequencies. So what Paul is saying here is very important. Make sure your antenna is cut to the right length. Yeah. Very good. All right. Very good. Let's see. Steve, multiband NFED for 40 meters. Works wonders. Low SWR on 40, 20, 15, 10, 80. One is the same, but you need more room. Steve's call sign. Steve, you're always so helpful. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here today. I really was hoping you would be here today. I mean that. Steve, you're up late in the UK and you're helping some hams with this. Thank you. Steve's call sign is Golf 0 Lima Quebec Papa. So he's talking about a multi-band NFED wire antenna for 40 meters. Okay. You can get low SWR on 40. Not bad. All right. Let's see. Steve, you can get good low-cost transformers these days, 49 to 1, or simply make one if you're able to. You know, Steve, again, remember when you started. If you've always been into electronics, this is just secondhand. It's like, opening up a book for you. But for new hams that have always wanted to be in ham radio, they won't know how to do this. They won't understand impedance matching. They just won't understand it. So for them, they're looking for something that they can get and buy, most likely, and put up because it's their first shack. And then as they learn, they'll grow like we did. So that's kind of how it is. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Thor, thank you for being here. Thanks for your comment too. It was the comment of the show about impedance and getting resonant antennas. Thank you so much. Yeah. All right, Bob. Thanks. Sound effects. No, we have a live studio audience sitting right here. What are you talking about? Thank you. It's fun. John is here. Greeting from the Netherlands. His call sign is Papa Delta 8 Juliet Mike Golf. It's an honor to have you, John. Thank you for being here today in the Netherlands. Great to see you. We have also Martin that joins the show. That's good. All right. Gunter is working the house, man. Getting contacts. Going to do everything he can. Build up his YouTube channel so he can get, people to watch him. Gunter's working the house. That's what he does. Okay. Hello from Massachusetts, Bob. Nice to meet you. I'm an avid DXer, not a ham radio op. Bob, I was the same way, man. Really was. In fact, the radio that my head's covering is right behind me. See my head right there? Okay. Right next to the Shaka sign. Let me move over. That's the Sony 2010. You'll know that one. Okay. That's where I started too. I just couldn't learn code. For years in ham radio, you had to have a certain amount of Morse code letters to be able to get your license. I just had a problem with it, learning it, because when I was doing it was on a record album. A. Da-da. A. Da-da. A. Da-da. Oh my gosh. It's awful. You can imagine how many times I picked up a stylus, put it back on the record to start over again. A. It just drove me nuts. So I had a real hard time learning that way. Technology today has evolved where it's easier to learn Morse code, at least for me, and I'm working on it. So I'm up to 12 letters now. I'm very grateful. I really, Bob, I want to tell you, if you love shortwave, you'll love ham radio. You really will. Take some time to learn. Even if you just get to technician, you will have a ball in this hobby. You will. As a SWL person myself still, tell you, man, it's great stuff. It truly is. So thanks for being here. Appreciate you very much. Tom in Bahrain, Zygu G1M, $260. HF, there you go. MFJ 4230 power supply for $100. NFED $140 for the antenna. Coax $100. The antenna is resonant, and you have yourself a full station. There you go. All right. For new hams, one piece of advice. Okay, get your ground rod. Get your ground rod. Get 100 feet of copper wire. You can buy it like at AutoZone for $20. No joke. You get the ground rod at Home Depot. It's like $15. Okay, it's copper clad. That's okay. It's okay. Copper clad's fine. Drive it in the ground a couple feet. You get yourself a clamp for it. Okay, ask the person for a wire clamp. They'll give it to you. Do not use the same ground rod that you use for your home electricity. Don't do that. Use a separate one for your gear. It's very important. Okay, so that's going to be about $40 for all of that. But make sure you do that. Home Depot, not so hard. So, yeah, Gunter, it wasn't hard to find out what you've been doing all this time with that stuff. It's okay. It's easy. Whenever somebody's in the comments and they're like, hi, everybody, hi, everybody, hi, everybody, hi, everybody, and then you start seeing people saying, I tried to email you back, then you know exactly what they're doing. So, Gunter, have fun. Whatever you got to do, that's fine. I don't have such a big subscriber group here, so you want to work the crowd for your channel. That's cool. All right, let's see. R7 from Russia. This is Nikolai. Antenna system 9-band. You know what? It's good because if you get a multi-band antenna, you can work different bands. Daytime, nighttime. That's good. I agree, 100%. Try and get a multi-band antenna because that will help you tremendously, okay? Because when you're working ham radio, sometimes you want to work the daytime. Well, those are going to be like 20 meters, 17, 15, 12, 10, possibly 6. And sometimes you work night, right? That's going to be your 40 meters, your 80, your 75, and your 160. They require different antennas. So what Nikolai is saying here is very good. Nikolai, thank you very much. Good stuff. Yep. Kevin, M0MCL, buying a soldering iron, learning some basic skills. Find it on YouTube, can help save you a lot of money. He's right. It really can. Learn to solder. Not hard, really isn't. Make sure you buy the right kind of solder, acid-based solder, acid resin solder, right? You don't want to use the wrong solder. If you don't know, ask. And sometimes you can find the answers right on your phone. Just Google search it. You'll find it. It's easy. Yeah, good stuff. Thanks a lot, Kev. You got some good stuff today. Toby's here from Germany. Delta Oscar 1, Tango Oscar Bravo. Welcome to the show, Tobe. It's always good to see you, buddy. It's always good to see you. Grounding and bonding, complex issue. Yeah, well, kind of. I mean, as long as you're grounding to one area and you're not grounding in like a giant stream, like ground here, ground here, ground here, ground here, you don't want to do that. You want to ground to one common point. Otherwise, you're going to get ground loops, and that's not what you want. HF ground loops can be hard if you're working a rig because literally you're going to have interference in your receiver. Ground in one place, you're going to find yourself much happier and your radio much happier too, okay? Tom, $700. And see, here we go. $700 is a real challenge without used. If you go used, would look for relatively new radio used like a 450D, full HF and 100 watts. Plus, you get a TXCO on board. Did you know that? Yeah, the old Yaesu 450D, I think part of the reason why they stopped making it is parts prices. Truly, it has onboard standard a TXCO. No joke. Can you imagine? And that thing was like $720 used. You get it for about $500. So a 450D Yaesu is good. That's going to eat up most of your money. Okay. You can buy a used power supply, or maybe a local ham has one that can give you, okay? You can buy like an Astron switcher. Yeah, switcher for about $100. If you buy the 450D, it's going to run you probably, if you can get one for $450, now you're at $550, you got $150 left. Still got the antenna. If you don't know how to build one, maybe you get the G5RV. Now you've got about 80 left. You just have to buy your feed line. You can buy feed line. You can make that work. Yeah, Tom, that's a good idea. I like the idea of the 450D. I think that's a really, I think that's just such a good transceiver. And I don't like saying that about Yaesu all the time, because here I am with a 101D, the this and that over there, and it's like it's Yaesu. And I don't want it to be the Yaesu channel. I don't want it to be the ICOM channel. I don't want it to be the Kenwood or Holocraft channel or the Flex. Radios are great. Don't get brand loyal to anybody, because they're great transceivers. You're going to miss out on something really good if you think only your brand is going to make good radios. Look at what other radios can do, because you just might find something real special out there. Okay. It can be done for under 700, but it's going to be tight. You couldn't imagine under 6. Okay. I couldn't imagine under 6. I think that'd be just about undoable. All right, let me show you real quick this last piece. All right, you get something like this, and here's something that was mentioned earlier, and it's a great comment. Okay, this is something that earlier in the show was mentioned by John, I believe. No, it was Jess. He's Whiskey Union 3 Delta. Okay, so Jess mentioned the 735. Okay, now if you buy this power supply, okay, that's $150. Great buy, by the way. That's a really good buy. Okay, so if you buy that and then you buy something like this, now this one's sold, but he's talking about the 735. This one has a CW filter. Okay, but the price on it was really good. Okay, this one's sold, but it was like $300. Okay, keep in mind, there's asking prices and selling prices. Please don't be afraid to negotiate. If you don't have enough money, you've just got to tell them that. Be honest with them. They may counteroffer, they may not. But the point is, you just have to try. That's the main point. You can do it, but I think 700, would you guys agree 700 probably is about the limit to what you're going to get for an HF? VHF and UHF is cheaper. You can do it a lot less for VHF, UHF, but for a high frequency radio, it's going to cost you more. You've got more to work with. So about $700 is minimum, but that's about what it's going to cost. So for the folks that did write in, and by the way, if you'd like to write into the show, you'd like to make a comment, say hello, make an idea for a show, love to hear from you. You'll find me on QRZ, K7HN, hit the email link and get a hold of me there. A lot of people do that from around the world, and it's always a pleasure to hear from you guys. Also, you can find me now, believe it or not, on Alexa. That's true. Just Google search, just say to Alexa, Alexa, play ham radio live on YouTube, and bingo, it comes up. No joke. I'm like, this really worked? Yeah. Just by chance, making some dinner in the kitchen last night, said to Alexa, play ham radio live on YouTube. And there it was. I was like, well, this is really kind of awkward, you know? Wow. Anyway, thanks for coming. We're going to close the show at this point. Sundays are always talks. We always like to do that. I want to do a talk as well. Do a talk show maybe the middle of the week, like on Wednesdays. That would be fun, because it's fun to get you guys together, talk about a topic, and just hang out about ham radio. Makes it nice. Okay. And I enjoy that. And by the way, yesterday, right after the show was over, we had that special event station, Eric, Kilo 3, Echo Lima Golf, bounced in, got that. And Johan from Spain put it on the DX spotter. He did. He put it on the DX spotter. And the guy on the show was like, hey, someone in Spain with an EA call sign just put us on the DX spotter. He's like so excited. Yep. Anyway, right after the show was over, I called in. It's like I walked Miley and I said, I got to work the special event station. First call, there it was. It's like, why couldn't I do that during the show? But it worked. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. About 20 UTC. I look forward to it. It's always a pleasure to see you guys. Thanks for coming to Ham Radio Live. We're not sponsored. We don't do commercials. We just ask you hit subscribe. It helps people find the channel. Until tomorrow, I want to thank you so much for joining the show. It's been my honor and privilege. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your help today. You truly made a difference for some new hams. It was a pleasure. Until tomorrow, goodbye, everybody. This is why I told my wife, gotta get a new computer. Okay, honey, I'm showing you this. I am. When you get home from work, I'm showing you we need a doggone new computer up here. See you later, everybody. God bless you. Have a nice day. See ya.